Well, welcome to Qlik Spotlight. My name is John Sands, but more importantly, I have someone firmly placed under the Qlik Spotlight today, and that's Dalton Ruhr. Most of you, if not all of you, will have seen this man before, and you'll realize when you see him, there's a bit of clothing that he wears that really picks him out. And this interview is actually about the Uipath partnership. So Dalton's been an integral part of that relationship. So I thought I'd have a chat with him. So welcome to Qlik Spotlight, Dalton. Great to have you on here.
Thanks, John. I appreciate having the spotlight. Usually I'm trying to illuminate the message. I appreciate having the light on me for a change.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Nice to have that rather than doing it the other way around. And it's the first time I've spoken to you in one of these interviews, and it's been far too long. And I'm glad we got to do that. But for people, I can't believe there are many people out there that don't know who you are and what you do. Just explain a little bit about that.
Well, I wasn't born with this thing. I won my bow tie, for those who don't know. As a customer at Qlik, I won it in a dance competition at Qlik World.
I didn't know that.
2014. So it wasn't born on me. I don't actually wear it out in my
and we've already found out you don't sleep with it on, so that's good.
So I kind of see that I feel like the luckiest person, at least at Qlik, maybe the world. I've got really two roles. There's a corporate role that I get paid to do. And in that right now I work with our potential partners and existing partners. And I try to see how we could take one and one and come up with three, not just two. Find the places where we could integrate to magnify and make both partners stronger. And I love doing that. I also do an awful lot of internal applications because, believe it or not, we do drink our own Kool-Aid.
Yes.
And we use Qlik to drive our business, and especially in the partner team. So a lot of fun stuff with that, which I love doing. That's why I was the Qlik dork to begin with. I love doing that.
Yeah.
But I also get the chance and the luxury of doing my non-HR defined things that aren't in the job description, like evangelizing Qlik and providing analytics, insight, and thought leadership for the world. I get to work with and be connected with on LinkedIn and Twitter and things like that with great industry leaders.
Yeah. Now, you've been at Qlik for quite a while now, Dalton, haven't you? So
I have been doing that. I was involved in that as a Qlik customer for 5 years prior to joining. And now I've been with Qlik for 6.5 years. So
yeah.
It's been fun to hang out and chat with people who are writing books and doing keynote sessions and things like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to do this. And Qlik keeps paying me to have fun.
Yeah, there was a fascinating one who wrote a book that Will Smith turned into a film that we had talking at one of the sales kickoffs. That was that was a good one. So yeah, you're right. To get that opportunity to do that, it does feel like a privilege, doesn't it? It really does.
There's days it's a grind.
Of course.
If you're listening, Mike, keep paying me to do the things that are grind. And ignore all the times you see me smiling and having fun, because I really do love what I get to do.
Yeah. So Uipath, then, explain a little bit about who they are.
So Uipath, for those who are very business-minded, they are the Gartner Magic Quadrant leaders in both vision and ability to execute in the RPA space. So that's robotic process automation. So that's kind of formally who they are, if that gives you any indication. They're like the leaders of leaders doing.
So they take stuff. Apologies to interrupt, Dalton. So they go into an organization, weren't they? And the one I read about was I think it was a medical services one, and look at processes and create a bot that automates that process, so cuts down the amount of time that people have to spend on those, and really does give a lot of time back to people, doesn't it?
It does, exactly. And that's some people kind of mistakenly assume that these bots are replacing workers, and there's certainly cases where that might be the case. But like in my life, I wake up and one of the first things I do is take a regimen of vitamins and medicine, right?
Mm.
It's a pain in the butt to me, literally, to have to open these bottles, take one pill out, put all the bottle caps back on, put them back in the cupboard.
I do that.
Right. And I wish there was a bot that could do that for me.
Mm.
It's not going to replace my life. It's simply saving me from tasks that I don't really want to do, because those tasks simply are just monotonous, boring tasks. Doesn't take any human power. And so there's a lot of that. So for things like in the medical industry, electronic health record systems really take a lot of time for clinicians, right? Things that they used to be able to do by paper in 4 or 5 seconds now takes them minutes. These bots can automate that. You're not trying to replace the doctor at all, right? Like you're not going to replace a doctor or a nurse. It's these boring, monotonous tasks that are literally just a series of, okay, if I do this, then I got to do that, then this, then this, then this. Those types of digital tasks can be automated then and save these people time, right? Like physicians have enough issue with burnout. If we can remove some of that tedious time, it makes them enjoy the rest of what they do more. And those things can be set up across industry, like people analyzing data in SAP. I find some insights. Oh man, now let me stop my insights finding and go open 18 other systems to do things, right?
And the CEO of Uipath was saying about Microsoft had a vision of one PC for every person, and he was saying about a bot for every person, because even within an organization, they can have a core process, but that can be modified to just do something slightly different that someone does slightly different.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's, I've got one of their bots running on my machine.
Have you?
So yeah, so their model is pretty interesting. They have an orchestrator out in the cloud where somebody who's the administrator can see what's going on. But the bots can be configured and run on individual machines. You can have some that are completely autonomous, go do ABC, but they also have the ability to have a human in a loop. So something could pop up on my machine for me to make a decision. Right. So the process flow, automate, get somebody to make a decision. And that can be that human in the workflow as well.
So how is this? It seems like a silly question, but I'll ask it anyway. How is this good for Qlik then?
How is it good for Qlik? Well, for us, there's tasks that can be automated. But for Qlik customers,
that's what that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's even though I don't work with them directly right now, I still love my customers and I still work with them a lot on the side. Just don't let my boss know. One of the things I've been saying for many, many years in online, in blogs, and in sessions when I do training and things like that, it's all just zeros and ones until you take action on it. Data is a really, really expensive item for all that we have to capture it, store it, back it up, replicate it offsite, warehouse it, right? Once you start taking action, then it has tremendous value to you. And so this integration now allows Qlik Analytics users to become Qlik Analytics doers. And I think that's an important transition in that we're not just showing you a number and then saying, now leave your workflow and go do other things and lose track of why you wanted to do this. Stay in your workflow, because your workflow should involve taking action on the data that you're seeing.
Okay. So I can see where the value is, because I must admit, when I first looked at it, I was thinking, well, I thought we already had this kind of functionality within Qlik, but I mean, it's much clearer to me. So which is good. So what was your role in the relationship? Take me through, what you did and how you worked with Uipath.
Well, my role was to laugh. Their team is a lot of fun, and seriously, I have a very technical role, where I don't always wear this. Usually I got a dark hoodie on coding. But I had a lot of fun with their team. They're confident in what they do. They've got real enthusiasm for giving people back time in their lives, in seeing processes automated that then help ensure revenue sustainability for organizations. Right. So they're confident and they know what they're doing. They're enthusiastic, and that's fun to be around.
Of course it is. Get infectious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's and that's, I don't always get that. I've got a lot of great partners I do get to work with. I think Hugo, must love me because he gives me the right
Gives you the good customers
who are like that. So I love doing that. But on the technical side, I work with them to understand what they do, how their cloud orchestration works, how the robotics works on each individual machine. I went out and built a bunch of different test cases to see how would these things fit. And then I went through kind of a series of steps with using it with Postman so I could document, in order to make this happen, you first need to know this.
Yeah.
Then you can do this, then you do that. And I took all that documentation and gave it to our Qlik application automation team and showed them, look, here's the 5 things that would need to be done for our customers to be able to automate that stuff. Right. It's one thing to say, oh, let me take this giant URL and break this thing up, and here's how you write JSON. Right. It's fun for me, not so fun for Qlik customers.
No.
And our team was, they were super excited about it as well. Right. That we're not building our stuff on an island. Qlik has always been an open API.
Yeah.
We really pride ourselves that we're a partner of everybody else doing the same things, right? And our vision for active intelligence isn't isolated to us, right? Others fit in that. And so our application automation team took that information that I gave them, then created a wonderful connector that's super easy to drag and drop and get going with. And you click and you say, hey, go find the processes, these automations that are available.
So it'll go off and find those for you then.
Yeah. They go out to their orchestrations, look at it. But you can browse all the automations that are there. Hey, that's the process I want right here. And you can add that then to existing Qlik application automations.
So you don't have to be incredibly technical then. So if you're going into an organization and saying, right, I need to automate this or do that, as someone who might be administrating the system, who may not know how to use JSON or C# or any of those, is it just a click and drag process to get this going then?
Right. Basically, yeah, you literally drag, hey, I want to run a process. You drag it onto your workspace, your canvas as a maker. And then basically all you need is what your organization's code is in their SaaS tenant. So like our SaaS clients have a tenant. You get a tenant with them. So you do need to know that tidbit. From that point on, the connection is through OAuth. So I literally say connect. It validates me through all this single sign-on, behind the scenes credentialing, and I'm up and running. I pick a process. It says, okay, give me the input parameters if there are any. I provide some input parameters, and bing, bang, boom.
You're done.
This thing is now part of a bigger process for me.
And because both Qlik and Uipath are mature products, then that should just work seamlessly. Fantastic. And what have you been hearing? Or have you had any feedback on this partnership? What are people thinking about it?
I had really interesting feedback. There are a lot who have been very keen on RPA stuff, and have been looking at Uipath, and they never dreamed that they'd be able to run that as part of an analytics process. Yeah, right. There are things that need to be done, right? But I don't need my vitamin bottles to be open until I say I'm ready.
Yeah, of course.
Right? I make the decision. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I can kick that off. And so this is opening their eyes to, holy cow, you know, I'm not just looking at visuals. Now I'm gaining insights, making decisions, and I can press a button to take an action.
And that's what active intelligence is, isn't it? It's not just a dumb terminal or a dumb piece of software. It's actively creating that option for you, and that's what I love about the whole active intelligence platform. And Uipath
one of the really interesting things a Qlik consultant shared with me was a case I would never have dreamed of. Documenting Qlik code.
Oh, really?
So he has a bot that he can press a hotkey.
Yeah.
It'll go out, take a screenshot, open up a PowerPoint document that has his documentation, put the screenshot in there, creates a bookmark behind the scenes, and a number of steps to automate. You know what? I've got to document all my screens. I've got to add text, blah, 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 blah. And instead of him manually having to do this, he presses a hotkey. When that hotkey is done, Uipath kicks in, grabs information, goes and puts it in things that he can then look at later, but he knows they're done.
Doesn't that bring it home? Gosh. Yeah, that really brings it home when you hear of something like that. I think it's fascinating, and I'm looking forward to this partnership, and just to see, you know, what's going to happen going forward. And it's not just Uipath. There's so much good stuff. There's AutoML we've got out there. There's Forts that is coming down the road. It's mind blowing. Yeah, I'm loving this direction.
Yeah, it is. It's tough.
Just keeping up is tough.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, but it's all
especially
good
for me, because I'm a hands-on guy.
Yeah.
And there are so many things. Yeah. And for Qlik customers, if you feel overwhelmed at the rate that we're having drive a data-driven industry, it's the same internally. There's weekly calls showing us behind the scenes, technical things, and it's tough for me because my boss doesn't always let me just stop everything else I'm doing.
No, you have to do your day job as well, Dalton. As annoying as that is. Annoying that it is. So we're coming to the end of 2021. I must admit, personally, I'm not too sad to see it go. But 2022, what's top of your mind then? What have you? What exciting, shiny things have you got to look forward to?
Well, I've got 7 grandchildren, John. 5 of their birthdays. 5.
Surely you're not old enough, Dalton, to have that many grandchildren.
I know. I'm very blessed. 5 grandkids' birthdays in the first 7 weeks. So I've got a lot of shiny packages to buy, a lot of shiny packages to wrap, a lot of hugs, a lot of kisses, lots of smiles that I get to see. But that, of course, that's off camera time.
No, that's fine.
My personal goals for the next year is really drive home the subject of data artistry. So this is something that I began thinking about more and more lately. And to me, it really combines a lot of hashtags. There's data storytelling and data governance and data quality and all these things that, in hearing a lot of different consultants who are focused on those, you think those are things you go off and do independently of everything else. They're not independent, right? I can't take action on data I don't trust.
No.
Right? I can't take action on data I don't understand, right? So I have to have data quality. I have to have data governance. I have to have lineage and things like that. So technology-wise, I think I am super excited about our catalog and lineage and the progression it's going. So tech-wise, that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing unveiled. And I think customers will really enjoy not just the shiny GUI features of it, but what it provides them in terms of organizational structure.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves on our enterprise scale and enterprise customers. And those people have very demanding needs.
Yeah,
I think
and
our
luckily
catalog
we've
and
got
lineage is really going to wow them with what I can see impact analysis of a change, and I can see any measure in any application downstream, including other analytics tools.
Yeah, and some of the less sexy stuff, you know, the that side of it can be, but it's just as important. So, okay, Dalton, we're gonna slightly change the questions now. Wait. Don't worry, it's all fine. You'll be good. Stay where you are. So, for Christmas or for your festive celebrations, your holiday, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to give you a superpower. And what would that be?
Whew. Well, I thought I already had a superpower of.
Well, you can have another You can have another superpower.
It served me well.
On top of the hundreds that you've got already.
My bow tie is my costume. This is my data literacy power. No, I think if I could have if they were going to make a movie, you were going to give me a superpower so I could be in a movie or something. I would want it to be time travel. I think I would really. I think I would really like a superpower of being able to time travel.
What period would you go back to first of all?
I would probably go both ways.
Of course, yeah.
I would want to travel back. There's events in history I would love to see. I would love to, walk into a saloon in the Old West. Preferably at the right time when gangsters aren't coming into town and shooting up the saloon.
Yeah, we'll skip those.
And not when I have to, rope cattle and do things. I've got a bad back. But there's definitely periods of history I would love to go see. I think hopefully I would use that superpower wisely, and I wouldn't just go back and buy Microsoft stock the day it was issued and Apple stock.
Not like Back to the Future when he went back and got that the Sporting Illustrated.
I would want to go to the future as well to see things, and then try to think how could I speed that up? What decisions could I make today that would speed things up or benefit things better in the future?
Yeah, and name me a movie you've watched more than once and why.
Whew, gosh. I've watched a bunch. There's a whole bunch. I think one of the series I've watched the most probably is Fast and Furious.
Good film.
Because I really like movies about friendship, right? And there's action and drama and violence and cars blowing up. But above all, it's men. Saying, here's what I'm going to do for my friend, right? And really partnering up and going to the mat and risking your life for your friend.
That's the message, isn't it?
Friends kind of become, their slogan in the thing, family. Right? It's
I thought you were going to say, I just want to drive fast cars, but you've taken the human aspect out of that film.
I like a lot of movies like that. The action makes it fun to watch, but it's that it's that friendship, that partnership, and really driving home. I'm going to be selfless to help somebody else.
Yeah, it's a good message to get out of it. Well, Dalton, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for spending the time to go through this with me. For me, I found that has really opened up what Uipath is, and I loved the example you gave about someone internally using it from Qlik. So thank you so much for being part of Qlik Spotlight. And hopefully we'll see you again face to face. Maybe have a beer sometime. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be good. Well, you take care, Dalton, and I'll speak to you soon.
Take care, buddy.